Hello from nowhere, on you know where, Mystic Mountain, in the fantastical land of nowhere. You gotta say that part every time, or nobody knows. Alright, alright, so, walking around in here. I got my backhoe, and it works pretty well, and I gotta learn. It changed the dynamics of the tractor. So now it's kind of like I got to learn how to drive it again because it comes with a subframe and it weighs a lot. I imagine it at least weighs a ton on the back of the tractor. And because the way it distributes the weight, it just fit. I think I'm going to put a really big log in my grapple on the front. I might get some wheel spacers and see how that changes the handling of it. But I think that because of the nature of it now, and you can see this ground, how unlevel and how full of holes and ditches it is, I don't think I'm going to drive down to these stumps and try and dig them out. It's just a little bit much on the machine, and I got to get used to it, and I'm not gonna drive it up and down this hill. So this basically, I was looking at my work, see what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pick it up tomorrow. I'm at the finish line. All right, I got as far as I'm gonna go, hot chiseled out over there, and then I'm gonna come straight across from there to basically where this big pine tree is, and that's gonna be all she wrote. I'm not cutting this big pine tree down. I've tried my best to keep all the big trees. Let them have a chance to finish their life cycle naturally, because there's nothing I can tell right over here at the moment that they could fall and damage in a storm or anything. And if they fall, I mean, those over there are right by the power line. If they fall, though, Alabama Power is supposed to come fix it because they're like within X amount of feet of that. And if a storm knocks it over, they won't hassle you. They'll just fix it. And if they come out here and say, hey, we need to cut down all the trees and stuff, go have at it, have at it. So I'm essentially, and as you can tell as I'm walking over this, like I said, I would not try to drive that backhoe down here and turn and have to turn and stuff. And I've done a little bit of digging with it this afternoon, and I think it's very capable. I think I need to get a thumb for it. But I tried to dig this stump over here out, and it was going pretty good. I gave up though, because if you look, right, that stump right there I was digging out, and if you look, there's stumps buried right underneath the dirt, and they're all around that thing. So that's a no-go. That ain't happening. And so the rain washed off a lot of the leaves and washed everything downhill. So that side over there looks pretty clear. It cleaned it up. I got a lot of trees I got to wrap the chain around and drag out of the ditch. And I tried to come over here earlier, but the ground is very wet, and that is also a factor in why you shouldn't be trying to mess with it. It's just, it'd be better just to cut these things down as close to the ground as possible, because I'm sure that tool's very capable. I'm going to be using it a lot on that side, because that side's more of a gentle. It's very gentle. All right, this right here, this has never been manhandled. A storm came through, and I'm so surprised that storm left all these big trees it left standing. You know, I'm shocked. But there's our mounted, our painted canvas in the distance. It's gonna look great from here when I'm done. So basically I went down in there, and I'm gonna go straight across to where I was talking about. That big pine tree in the center of those, way at the end. That's the big one from here. It's a long way over here. So you have to get in shape if you're gonna live in the woods. But yeah, that's a gentle roll over there. I'm about to have to cut my grass, and the backhoe is gonna help when I go to clean this ditch out, because people were just throwing shingles, tile, crushed up bricks in here, and it's like there's a way to do that, but when you just piling it on top of trees that are already growing and stuff, that ain't how you do that. You know, I'm gonna basically redo this ditch, and I really need to get a survey, because I'd like to go all the way to the bottom of the hill, and I'm sure my neighbor wouldn't mind if I talked to him and explained to him, you know, I'm about to redo the ditch and make it look real nice, and the grass and the weeds won't be growing anymore. I'm sure they won't have a problem. Look at that, southern pastime. Blackberries. 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 I gotta see, this is what the ditch looked like before I brought the weed eater down it with the saw attachment and whacked down some trees. I gotta keep on going. I just keep getting pulled in other directions. I want to finish this. I want to finish what I'm doing. That right there, if we walk on down here, I got some work to do. I'm gonna do a little bit of work tomorrow before I go to work, before I go make some money, because I'm trying to pay some bills off before my backhoe payment comes due, and have some money saved up. First one's due next month, about the 15th, and I'm sure that DLL, who I financed it through, they would move that payment to the end of the month if I want. I like all my payments at the end of the month. It gives me time to round up the money. When you go hitting somebody at the first of the month for some money, it's unpleasant. I mean, it shouldn't be, and I guess it is mental, but to me it just seemed like you're hitting me right at the beginning of something, and it's like, hey, let me get to the end and I give you what I owe you at the end of the thing. But it doesn't really matter, I guess. That's all metaphysical. So I cut these trees down, and what I originally had planned was I wanted to finish my chicken coop this weekend. I just have to throw OSB on it and put the chicken in there, and chicken is going to be a test subject to see if it's really predator proof before I buy a bunch of chickens. I have confidence it's predator proof. I made a floor where they couldn't dig underneath. I patched up the wire to make it strong. I fixed the door and made it strong. There's absolutely no reason that it shouldn't be predator proof. All right. You know, and if you know, that's the thing about raising animals. If I give the chicken to somebody, they could tell me, well, I'm going to take the chicken and I'm going to give it a good life, and they'll go home that evening and they'll eat the chicken. And not that you shouldn't eat chickens, but that chicken's more of a pet. And yes, you can eat a pet, but I wouldn't eat a dog for the reason I'm not going to eat that chicken. Unless I was starving to death and that chicken was all there was to eat, and then I'm going to eat the chicken. But there ain't no reason just because I have an impulse to eat a chicken. But essentially, what I'm seeing here is right around here. This is where our line is. I already started cutting in here, and there's a little ditch right there. And I'm essentially, there's another cedar tree. We have to be careful when we're in there. Maybe they'll get together with the cedar tree down there, and they'll make a forest of cedar trees for me. So we're essentially, I know, at the very least, gonna go somewhere in here and go all the way over. I will probably hold off on going right there. Now, if it's a bunch of sticks and stuff, I'm gonna cut them down, you know. And so basically go in there. We're gonna make our trail. this weekend, and then we'll start cleaning it out. This right here, I think I seen a cedar tree in there. There's a bird. Believe it or not, those are called doves and pigeons. Sorry if you missed the bird. So I have to clean out this space right here. Clean it out. I'm going to cut up these little sticks that are right here. I'm going to leave that pine tree. The big ones that could fall and hit the power line, I'm going to leave. But that little one right there and those two, I don't think that they can reach. And there's a bunch of sticks. Sticks are like the ones you can wrap your hand around up to about that size right there, and then they start turning into, you know, small trees. So, looking at this, I know I did it, but I'm looking at how I did this, and I'm just like, I think what happened, I started down there, and there was a lot of trees to clean out. Once I cleaned up all the dead trees and drug them somewhere, a lot of them on the ground, I know, but I came over here where I started to clear, because in my head that made sense. And we made a big old chunk through here, and we got to even this patch up with right there where it breaks, and we'll work our way down here, and we'll keep on going, and we got to clean stuff like that up. All these dead trees down here, and we'll keep on going till we get to the big one right there, and we'll square that line up. And there's still at least a few days worth of work right here, just because it's not, if it was all like that, I could probably cut through this in like a day, but I got to contend with briars. I got to contend with little sticks that I have to clean out of the way. It's just like it's a mess. Messes take a while to clean up. Hopefully by next weekend, if the rain holds out, I'll be able to put a few days into this, and I'll have this part done, because believe me, I'm ready to go to something else here. When I get through here, I'm not sure what I'll do next. I know in my head I should go start on this, but I could also go through here and start clearing and making a road with my backhoe that'll take me to the valley where the creek is, because running up and down this mountain, it's not for the faint of heart. I've done it a bunch. I'll do it again, but I know that I can get there this way now, and there ain't no hurry to go down there. My plans are, I want to put a pond somewhere up here that falls down, basically goes down the side of the mountain as like a waterfall, and hits where my land ends in the valley with the creek, and the water will run down through there, fill the creek up. I'll probably expand the creek and into like a reservoir at the other end of my property, like a pond down there at the bottom that's still connected to the creek, so it still drains through there. And then I'll probably run the pipes through that pond, and I'll have it push the water up, and it'll just circulate water nonstop, and it'll always be running, at least whenever I hit a switch, you know. I don't know how big a waterfall or any of that stuff, but I know that's the plan. So I am going to walk over here. I don't normally walk over here in the videos. It's very green this time of the year, very pretty today. Anyways, so come over here. I got a lot of mess to clean up from the last folks who were here. They left me a big old mess. But if you look, there are big trees right here. However, most of this is comprised of sticks and small trees. I mean, once I get cutting in there, it won't take no time to go through this part. This part's not roughed up. It don't really got anything on the ground. It's mainly little sticks. This part ain't gonna take no time. I wanted to view first. That's why I started there. And up to this point, I thought I was gonna start on this part next. But I think that we got some work for somebody to do. Probably, start cleaning all this up. And when that's clean, then I'll work on that. And in the meantime, I think I need to build a road down there. I originally wanted to put a staircase, like not a wood one, but carve one out of the ground and then throw some shade-resistant grass. Because I did this somewhere else we lived, and it was awesome. I made stairs. The grass held it together. It was a good little stairs. I didn't do it on the size of this thing, but I have a backhoe, and I'd really like to put a staircase, but if I have a road, I have a road. That's just how it is. I thought a staircase probably looks nicer. I may have when I do that, because I know you can pick the tractor up with the backhoe, and I know you can pick it up and drag it across the ground. Basically, you can make it roll. I don't know how I feel about that. I need to practice that, and I just imagine that that's not good for the front axle. I mean, I know it's not moving with it and you're just rolling it, but you're putting a lot of weight on that front axle when you do that. And I know a lot of people do it, and they probably would tell me, I've been doing it for 10, 20 years, and I ain't never had a problem. It's fine, and good for you. I like to be extra careful with my equipment, and I may do it. I may end up doing it and say, yeah, this is pretty good. Like I said, I want to try it out. I'm going to try it out before I just say that's not for me. Because I got this tractor, and I like to not break something that costs half the price of the tractor, or a quarter of it, or however much money, and, get my wife to sit on it, and we work in it together, and we can probably make it go a lot faster. I know that backhoe's strong. I'm going to walk up here. But yeah, basically, from that side all the way through this land, it's a lot of land. I'm gonna clear all these trees, except for the really big ones, because this forest is strangling itself, and it's the little ones doing it. And the best thing to do is just clear out all the little stuff, all the stringy, leggy trees, all that stuff, and then the sun can hit the ground, and then manage new growth into it to replace the old growth. And anyways, so it's a lot of stuff I got to clear. So, but I'll show you guys this backhoe while I'm walking up here. That stuff down there, I mean, it's a beautiful view. I'm just hitting that with the chainsaw, and then I'll go back over it, and I'll take the stumps down to the ground, and I'll probably get some stump killer, and over time eradicate the stumps so they don't produce shoots. And this is her. This is the KV2475L. It is a good backhoe. I need to get the thumb for it, and I need to get some pads for it, so I don't wear these platforms out. I have to buy. That looks expensive to fix no matter what you do, and I don't want to break it. But this thing is a cool machine. If my wife was at home right now, I would probably demonstrate it. I'd move it for you guys, but she's not, so you're going to have to take my word for it. Thought I saw a stake, then I slipped on this cord. But yeah, this thing it's good backhoe. It was digging in that ground, and I don't know what this is for. I think you put that, you slide that up. Yeah, that's what that is. And you put it on the back. It's for when you're driving down the road trying to go to the gas station. I don't do that. I just bring the gas here. But yeah, pretty cool machine. And you know, I had it out earlier, showed you guys. I need the thumb for it, but I really didn't push this. I gave it a little bit on that stump I showed y'all, but I got kind of nervous about it because I blocked up the front tires, and that helped. And I put my grapple on the front, and that helped. And I tried my best to anchor it down there, but I think I want the pads first and on a thumb so I can grab that stump and try to jar it loose. And I tried other places on the mountain, and till I learn how to drive that thing better, there's no easy way to enter this mountain where you don't have to turn. Like that thing, if you're going to go down a hill, you need a wide turning radius of flat ground, or that thing feels like it's going to flip. I don't know if wheel spacers will help with that. They're not that expensive. Probably get them put on $600 for some that shoot your wheels way out. But yeah, I'll just whatever, you know. But I got a lot of work to do. Oh yeah, I brought that thing will dig in some dirt, man. Like that's just it coming off the truck. It'll dig some dirt. But I come over here to this tree, and a tree this size, and I took pictures, but I'll show y'all and I'll tell you about it. You see, I put the bucket up there, and a tree this size, which is about as big as most of them get that I would attempt this with. A lot of them are that size. It won't. I took it down there, and a tree that big, I put that bucket on it, same way I did this one. This one, if I'd kept pushing that thing, this thing would have fell over. The ground was lifting up, because the machine, when I use that stump puller, the machine is sitting on the ground near it. And so it makes it harder for a tree to come up. And when I did it with that, because there wasn't any weight around the machine, that tree was willing to fall over. And I was seeing that, and I stopped, and I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to push on you like that. But I took it down the hill to a tree that size, and it didn't do that. But I watched it, and the tree was being pushed with the backhoe strong, and combined with when you back the tractor into it, it will make the tree move. Now, I say that to say this. I'm not sure I would trust that on a tree that size to cut it down, that it's supporting it and stuff. I just wouldn't do that. You know, I would cut a line back there, stick some wedges in it, and then cut. I might cut my face cut. It depends on the situation. But I'd cut the wedge cut, and then I'd cut a line in the back, and I'd put wedges in it. Then I might get the tractor, and I might push it with the backhoe. But at that point, you might as well just push it with the bucket, right? The bucket will go just as high, a little bit higher, and you'd be better off just pushing the top of that tree with the bucket to guide it in the direction you want it to go. I seen something called a tree pusher. It looks like a podium jack, and I'm probably going to get that before I put my expensive equipment up there to play chicken with a tree. So I got a lot of stuff to do. The forest's been neglected. It's been allowed to run and grow free and wild, and that's beautiful, but it's suffocating itself now. It's like when people overeat, right? It's just all that rain we've had. The trees look different for some reason. Like it washed dirt and leaves off of them. I see a lot of these leaves are falling off. It doesn't take long. But yeah, I mean, I thinned it out in there. That's why you can see through it a little bit. I like it. I don't know what the overall goal, except for what I've talked about, is, but we are at the finish line of the first segment, where I clear off these trees and I can look through. And yeah, and I can look past them to the great open, to that mountain. And I got to come up here, and this little group right here, it's got some about to cut. I have to be careful with this. I need some tools in my arsenal before I attempt to cut these big ones, because this one, it leans towards my power line. And I know if I cut that, it's probably going that way unless I have some way to manipulate it. I'm probably going to get that tree pusher I was just talking about and use it to knock the tree over. But, you know, these little trees right here, they gotta get cut down. And like I said, I'm right here at this finish line. The hard stuff is out of the way. There's some stupid stuff left, but I'm gonna take care of it, and then I can go to a different section. The rest, I think I hear something. Shh. They're talking. I don't know what's talking, but I want to see it. I hear it, but I don't see it. Famous last words, I hear it, but don't see it. I really want to see what's making that noise. I like finding out. I like freaking around and finding out. Trying to make it jump or move or something. I don't know. I can't find it. I know there's a few of them, and I came over here and I interrupted their party. Well, guys, I wish I could tell you about it, but I just cannot find it. It's probably inside one of them logs or on the other side of it, and I ain't got the strength today to pick it up. So, but I do have frogs. If you guys watch this water, you might see them. I know they're in there. Ooh, there's one. I don't know if you saw it, but he ran away. He went fast. I don't see any tadpoles. I guess they're not laying eggs. Or they're hid down there in the mud. I don't know. We went to Nakalulu Falls. Oh, wait. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Oh, you guys can't see it. This looks like muddy water to you. This water is very clear. I wouldn't drink it or anything, but there is a bunch of tadpoles in here. And I don't run around and disturb the wildlife. I leave them alone. When I hear a new noise, I investigate and I like to find out what's making that noise and look at it, and then I leave it alone, and then I just know what it is. I don't go. Anyway, I'm not harassing the wildlife here on the mountain. Them dogs will, though. That one over there, right there, that one right there, she looks squirrely because she is squirrely. Hey, Ed. See, she knows her name. Ed. What are you doing, Ed? Oh, hell. Don't come over here, Ed. She looked like an Ed. Ed. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up. There's nothing else to really talk about or show you guys. That's what's going on. Guys, have a good day. I hope everything goes your way. Blessings and curses. Farewell.